Hey folks, this is Z-Man with Kadesh Farm. Finally got my pigs processed and got them picked up. What I want to do is share with you guys what the results were based off of 4 months of growth. I'll kind of talk about some things that I will do different on the next set of pigs that I do get processed. I had goals with these pigs on what I wanted to accomplish. I did get meat, but one of the pigs I wanted it to be for resale and the other for personal consumption, to basically have the pigs to pay for themselves. And I'll kind of hopefully explain why that did not come to fruition on some of my goals. But at the end of the day, I do have two coolers that have meat inside of them. So do I have success? Yes. Am I satisfied? Yes. But there were some goals that I didn't get accomplished. Basically, I bought the pigs back in June from Corbin Critters, located in Tennessee. They're located maybe about an hour and a half, 2 hours south of Nashville. And I bought them on June the 2nd, and is when I picked them up. And ironically, the date that I dropped them off was October the 2nd. So I had the pigs a total of 4 months, and we raised them on a pig pusher, which is basically a guy that was raising competition pigs, and he came up with this mix. And just so happened my friend run a co-op in Eagleville, and they're the only location that I know of that sell that pig pusher mix. Is a mixture of different things, a lot of vitamins and things that pigs need to put weight on them, and it seemed to have did the job. But there are some things I will do different that will give us a little better performance, I feel, on the pigs. But I for sure know that the pig pusher, it met its goal for what we wanted in a short amount of time that we had. One of the pigs, well, go ahead and just talk about the type of pigs. They were a Hampshire slash Tamworth mix, because I wanted pigs for bacon and different cuts. And I was told that that mix would provide me with the bacon that I wanted, because I do love bacon and also love sausage. We had both pigs processed at the same time. This pig over here, the average, I would say the weight on this pig was roughly about 80 pounds, or if not 75 to 80 pounds. And the rail weight, well, probably a little bit less than that. And the rail weight ended up being 40 pounds. I had Pots processed the pig for us. They did a very good job with the meat. I love the packaging. We've had a couple of cows processed by those folks, and they did a phenomenal job. These are some of the pork chops, I believe, or pork steaks, and I'm pretty satisfied. This is a little bitty guy. And we have some little mini pork chops. Aren't they so cute? And I will be smoking some of this today. I hope and pray that I have enough freezer space, because my wife commandeered my meat freezer after we had a cow processed, and any empty space that was inside that freezer, she started putting things in it. So I was able to clear out some space. Hopefully I have enough room to put this meat inside. If not, I'll be doing a lot of smoking today. This pig, like I said, ended up getting roughly about 40 pounds of meat out of it. I mean, you could tell, look at the picnic roast, how small this guy was in relation to my hand. But they were able to get some good cuts out of it. This is the Boston butt that we were able to get out of that little guy. They neatly trimmed it. And I'll be putting that bad boy on the smoker. We ended up with 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 pounds of sausage from the 40-pound pig. And what is this? Little ribs on this little guy. I really like the way they package our product. I'm very satisfied with it. On this pig over here, it ended up being 109 pounds on the rail, a whole lot more meat. We were able to get a lot more sausage. I think it says 20 pounds of sausage on this guy. Let's see if I can zoom in here. Yeah, it says roughly 20 pounds of sausage on this guy. Kind of just let you look at the sheet if you can see it. I know I'm outside and the leaves are falling. Beautiful day. I ended up having to call out sick, but of course the meat was ready. So the way the pots work is you have to have the meat picked up within 3 days after processing. If not, there's going to be a fee, 2% charge. So I had no other choice but to go and get my meat. I dropped the meat off on October the 2nd, and they had it done yesterday. They called me yesterday to let me know the meat was ready. It took a little bit longer because I wanted my bacon cured. See if I can show you some of the bacon that I had done. I'm not sure exactly how many packs of bacon I have, but I am satisfied with the results. This one didn't get vacuum sealed as good. That is okay. Most of it, if I can get this to stay open. So we ended up with a decent amount of meat. Kind of show you the difference in the size of these guys. This guy was a lot bigger. Look at this Boston butt. I'll grab the other one. Compare it to this one. Sorry about the camera there, folks. Big difference. Kind of give you an idea how much they had grown, and difference in growth. The things that I would do different, kind of go through my notes here. Like I said, I bought them in June. My goal was to get them back in April or May, but her pigs did not give birth until a little bit later, and she wanted them to be 6 weeks old when I got them to make sure that they were able to make it on their own. So I bought them in June, and I kept them till October the 2nd, so I had them 4 months. Like I said, I was feeding them the pig pusher, which is 18%. I also went and bought corn, big old 55-gallon drum of corn, and I was soaking the corn, and I was feeding them that soaked corn because it seemed to digest a little bit better. Things that I would do different, I wanted more grow time, but based off of the way things worked out, it just didn't work. I wanted to keep the pigs at least 6 months. I think if I'd have had them another 2 months, this guy over here would have at least been over 100 pounds. My ideal weight for both, I wanted it to be 300 pounds. And there was no doubt that this guy over here would have been at least 300 pounds. Because the difference, I realized, I think they were born roughly 2 weeks apart. And I noticed the difference. One was bigger than the other when I got them home. And I thought they would kind of work out the old pecking order, and when it comes to eating the food, that didn't work out as good. So the other thing I would do different is, well, I'll just go through my list so I don't forget. More grow time, if I'm allowed to have that. Feed, keep doing the pig pusher. I should have had the tally of how many 50-pound bags that I purchased. I would say it was less than 10 bags at 50 pounds. I think I may have purchased, this is a rough estimate, maybe 8 50-pound bags. If not 8 or less, it would be 6 to 8 bags that I did purchase. And what I was doing with the pig pusher, I would take it and put it into a 35, 40-gallon trash can, fill it with water, and let it soak. So the pigs did not waste any of the food. That's a good thing about, I feel, soaking it. They didn't waste any. Now, they wasted the corn a little bit. When my kids didn't go out and feed them the second feeding, they would go and pick up all the corn and clean it up pretty good. The other thing I would do different is feed more feed. When they were younger, when we first got them, we put enough feed for them to clean it up to keep the rats or anything from messing with it. I think that was a mistake. We should have just kept more feed on them at all times. Maybe it's kind of hard to do a gravity feed when you're soaking the feed. So just being dedicated to get more feed on them at all times. I built an automatic waterer. They figured out how to use it very fast. So that was not an issue on keeping water on them. The area that we had them, the original goal, which, I'll just wait till I get to that part. I would do 2 different troughs when I feed them. as opposed to one trough. Hank over here, he started laying in the trough to prevent the other pig from eating. And that was a separation I think that was the gross separation that caused it, because every time I would go out, he would be laying inside the trough and eating the food while the other pig was sitting there waiting for him to get out of the way. So he was basically eating what was left over. So the other thing I would do different is give him two different feeding troughs. I would buy in bulk as opposed to buying 2 bags at a time, which it worked out for me just based off the time frame that I had. Make sure that I buy the pigs that were born on the same date, so we can have even growth. You know, genetics, you know, how you can have twins and one to be bigger than the other. But try and minimize having pigs on different sizes, because the older they got, the bigger you could see the difference in their growth. And the one bigger pig started bullying the younger pig. And my goal was to, like I said, buy 2 pigs, one for our consumption, and sell the other, and have the others pay for the whole entire operation, even though that didn't work out for us. Maybe have a different growth location. I grew them in an old dog pen that we had that was attached to a chicken pen out of convenience. And that's the other thing you have to consider. What is convenient for you? Our location where I wanted to take the pigs is 45 minutes away at a larger farm where most of our videos are done. It was convenient for us to grow the pigs here at our house. We could watch them. I wanted the kids to interact with them, to get them tame, so we didn't have to chase them when it came to the processing date, which when we purchased the pigs, they were with a whole bunch of other pigs, and you couldn't get close to them. And we had to pin them up to catch them, and I don't like dealing with wild animals. So in order for us to get them pretty good and tame, based off a recommendation of my father, we got them here, we started hand feeding them, and we started working on getting those guys where they were tame. And at the end of the day, I could go in there, they were pulling on my pant leg, because we spent a lot of time working with them. Would this have happened if I'd have put them out at our property and put them on more grass and just out in the big blue yonder? No. I think they would have been a lot more wild. So it's easier to just, out of convenience, grow them here at our property, at our home base, as opposed to taking them out there. Is it something we could do different? Yeah. I would like to get them a little more space, even though the space that we had them in was more than enough based off the recommendations for pigs. They immediately got in there, and it was a pen that we had raised pigs in before. We had raised dogs and chickens, and the ground was pretty fertile, and those dudes got in there and tore it up. The good part is, where we raised them, I have ryegrass, turnip greens, collards, and a different mixture growing inside that pen right now, and it is growing beautifully, even with the drought that we have right now here in the state of Tennessee. The other thing that I would do different is I may consider doing a different breed, but if you look at the fat that these guys produce, look at this pork chop here. I mean, it's a decent amount of fat that they had. Look at that. That's pretty decent amount of fat. I may consider doing a different breed. I'm not 100% sure. I really enjoy working with Corbin critters, and so I don't know. I was wanting to get some Mangalista or the red wattle, but it's just so hard to find those here in the Tennessee area. I'll show you another. Got a decent amount of fat on it. So I'm pretty satisfied. I cannot wait to get into these pork chops. Oh my gosh, look how much fat that is. And I'm doing a carnivore diet, so fat is my friend. These are the pork steaks. Decent marbling with the meat. Pork ribs, decent amount. I hope you can see it just because of this sun, the way it's shining. I mean, this dude had tons of pork chops in here. All in all, I'm pretty satisfied. Look at this big So Boston, but I wish, the only thing different I wish Potts would have done was put the weight on each packaging. I think they would have if I had it for resale. But at the end of the day, I'm very satisfied with Potts Processing. So I do want to send a shout out to Chad and his crew, Kat, his daughter, and I cannot remember his wife's name, sorry. But those guys they're located in Wartrace, Tennessee, and they did a phenomenal job with our meat. Just like I said, this is the third time that we've used these guys to process some meat for us, and we're very satisfied with the results. 109 pounds rail weight on one, 40 pounds on a little mini pig. We named this one Spanky because he was a little spunky. He was the meaner of the two. Hank was a big old teddy bear. Both of them were cut, so we didn't have to worry about testosterone, you know, interfering with the flavor of the meat. I guess they call them barrows. Very satisfied with the meat. I wanted to share with you guys. If you could shoot me some ideas on some things you think we could probably do different or do better when it comes to pig growth. But I do like that Pig Pusher, 18%. And it had all the vitamins and stuff that are needed. I think lysine is one of the main ones that is usually left out. We did feed them some table scraps, stuff out of our garden. They ate any and everything that we put inside their pen. Right now, it is October, and we got tomatoes that are growing that the pigs had consumed, and the seeds were spread everywhere. I wish this would have been a different time because we could sure use those tomato plants. We may put them in, my wife was wanting me to put a greenhouse together to have winter stuff growing. And I think it said it was 20 pounds of sausage. And this one here, that is a pork roast. I'll do another video when I cook this, kind of let you guys know the flavor. We did not do a lot of odd foods, especially there towards the end, because I wanted a good, clean flavor in the meat. I wish that we could have had them out on acorns, but this year in the state of Tennessee was so dry for us. Some ideas: when you do take a pig to go get it processed, my advice is to load it the night before. Make sure as you are raising your pigs, you just work hard at getting them tamed, so it's not an issue when it comes to getting them loaded. How are you going to load them? Make sure you figure that part out. We were able to put them in the back of my truck. My son and I were able to pick them up and put them into a very large dog crate that we have. Again, 300-pound pigs. I don't know if we could have got them loaded. Just so happened the date that we loaded them, our pen was full of mud, so they had a bad smell. My son was not interested in helping, but thank God he was able to stomach it and just power through to get him loaded into the pen, the kennel on the back of my truck. We let him sit all night. I did get a little softened, give them a little water. I came out and checked on them a little bit later on that night, and they were fine. They were actually asleep. I put hay in there to minimize on having so much feces in the back of my truck. They actually started eating the hay. Make sure the place that you're going to take them and get them processed, they explain thoroughly all their little nuances that they have, and make sure that when you do go and pick them up, you have enough coolers. The worst thing you could do is have not enough cooler space and you got meat sitting wherever it's sitting and not keeping its temperature, because you want to keep it frozen at all times. Again, thank you guys for watching my channel. Please subscribe and like. This is Z-Man, and I'm out.